Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's RNK Software Club's video for the week. This is Trevor Conquergood, the software manager for RNK. I'm super happy to have with me Mr. Matthew Wilson from the RNK Software Support Desk. How's it going today, Matthew?
Great. How are you, Trevor?
I am fabulous. Thank you. I know that you always get some of the best questions, and I know everybody appreciates your help. And so sometimes you get good questions, and we like to make videos about them. And so, what have you got for me today, Matt?
Well, we had a customer who sent in a design that they had made, and they wanted some hints on how to improve the stitching out once they sent it over to their machine.
Got it for sure. So today's video is going to be about how to improve your stitch out, or how it was text, it's embroidery. Yeah, why didn't it look as nice as they wanted to?
Right.
And so we'll get to that. And they also had a question about when they saved it to their machine format. Why did some of the small connections not trim, or in between, and
Right.
why did
Right.
it look like it was connected? So we can get kind of a little bit technical today too, and give kind of some specific answers on that. So hopefully as this is enjoyable for everyone. And so let's go ahead and get started. I will switch over to my embroidery workspace, and this is the design that the customer sent in, right? It's like some embroidery text. Although when I look at it closely, and when I mean closely, what I mean by that is when I look in my sequence area, I can see that it's like a bunch of shapes, and it's not text. And it doesn't matter that it's not text. I just wanted to point that out, that what I have is like the letter O, or the number 0, I guess, and then kind of like a period, and then a number 5, and then an R, etc., etc. And so when they say, that they weren't fully happy with the embroidery results, I'm not surprised, Matthew. When I look at it right away, I can kind of think of a couple things that I would suggest that are easy fixes to make it embroider better. The main one is the type of stitching, and so when you have shapes, and by the way, I don't know where the artwork came from or how they got to the way it is now, but what I'm trying to say is, if you make text, like with your text tool, if you click on the text tool and you just make some text, the software will make it in whatever font you choose. Could be any font. I can make it say any text that I want, like this. When I click apply, it's going to, update my text, but the stitching is pre-made by the software. It's a built-in font, is what I'm trying to say. And so the difference here is, this is not a built-in font. This is shapes of R's and O's that are, just happen to be letters. Um, One way or another, when you're working with artwork shapes, you select them to work with them, and you can select all of them if you want to do the whole thing all at one time. Just go ahead and drag a box, use your red select tool and select all of those shapes. And notice it says in here that they're fill, and that's but means they clicked on the purple star to make them. And notice in the properties box, it says that it's a pattern fill. And the thing here is, the pattern fill is like all one stitch direction. So it does the letter O, and R and U, with all the stitching being at that sort of 0 stitch angle. When normally, when we do embroidery and letters, we like to do it more like the built-in text, where the stitches kind of go around the shape and they turn, and they're at different angles. So that's what's different, Matt. Is it's a simple fix, because all I had to do is select it, and then down on the bottom, these are where all of your styles of embroidery are. And the one you want to look at is called auto satin. It's right beside the purple star for standard fill, right in the blue group. Kind of on the right hand side of the blue group is auto satin. And if I click on it, it's going to change this text from the what it was to an auto satin, and already it just looks nicer, don't you think? It kind of looks
Yeah.
more like embroidery, and now you can see how the stitches turn around everything. The other thing you got to watch out for text, and this is going to be the same whether it's built-in text or whether it's text that you're making. This font that they have here is quite what I would call thick and thin. Can you see how there's like skinny parts and then fat parts? Well, it kind of comes down to how skinny are the skinny parts, because the software is going to struggle with making this little stitch right here. It might not look as nice when you stitch it out because of little stitches. And so to avoid little stitches, we can fatten them. If you want to measure it, go ahead, use your ruler and measure, from here to there. It says that it's 0.6 of a millimeter, 0.8 of a millimeter. If I do it in inches, and I know normally I measure the smallest stuff in millimeters and I measure the bigger things in inches, but it's 0.03 of an inch. It's very, very small space, 0.0. So the point here is, Matt, the needle and the thread are kind of bigger than what you imagine. And really what happens is when it gets to the skinny part, the needle's like hitting the same hole every time. And to fix it, we want to fatten this. There's room for these stitches to be kind of spread out a little bit. And it's easy to do. All you have to do is, and you can do it to everything all at one time if you want. Once again, just take your select tool and drag a box and select all those shapes. And then it's up here in your properties box. So in your properties box, there are different tabs. And the first one is the tab where you set the style of stitching, right? So you've clicked on auto satin. Now it's a satin stitch. This is the density. The next tab is your underlay tab. And it's set to have a parallel underlay, which is a very good choice for kind of small, narrow satins like this. If these were much bigger letters, I might suggest a different kind of underlay, to make it embroider well. But what I think this needs is over here on the purple kind of zigzag, it's a tab that says push and pull. And it's at the top where it says pull compensation. I like to turn it on to absolute pull compensation, and I like to put in 0.02 pull compensation. And watch it. I just clicked OK, and it just kind of fattens it up. So let me hit undo. And then look at the letters. Let me even zoom in on them. And then I hit redo. And it fattens it up. So that'll help you with your, so we did two things. We changed the style of stitching from a fill to a satin, and then we changed the setting for the pull compensation to make it just a little fatter. And I think you'll find that that'll be a huge difference to the way it stitches out. The other part of the question was kind of the technical part, and it was, why did where the letter O sort of like jumps to the letter to the period, why did that connect? And you won't see that with the 3D turned on, but if you turn off your 3D, I just want to point out that you can see the dotted lines. And the dotted lines means when we go from this O to this period, that's where the O finishes sewing. It'll tie off the thread, and then it will jump down to the beginning. Now the question is, will the machine trim the thread? And I just want to go backwards and hit undo for a minute and point something out. If we go back to kind of like where it was in the beginning, so this is undo. So then that's like, let's see, zoom out, and I'll hit undo right back to the very beginning. So kind of before we got started, and notice that the O is connecting to the period across this sort of divide right here. And if you measure it from here to there, it's like 0.13 of an inch. If I do that in metric, it'll be like around 3 or something like that. Yeah. Almost 4 millimeters across, right? So you want to trim that thread out. I get it. But what people might not know is about the auto lock tool up here. So auto locks will tell the software to automatically put in the sort of trims um, after a certain distance when you save it. And that distance is 5. You can set it. It's in your up here at the top. You have your program preferences, and there's like different tabs that you can, fine tune the settings of the software. And the one you're looking for in this case is under the tab that says digitizing. Down at the bottom, it's your auto lock distance. And so this is basically saying anything that's longer than 5 millimeters needs to be, a trim put in. And so, if you're using auto, so notice, okay, I'm going to open up, this is the exe file that after the customer saved it to exe, and that's where it kind of looks like this is connected to this. Well, that's because, and notice that like from the 5 to the R doesn't have a line in between, but it kind of did between the O and the thing. And that's simply meaning it doesn't, it'll still stitch out just fine. It just won't automatically trim here, and that's all, you can still trim it with your scissors. It's 4 millimeters is long enough that you can get a scissor in here and trim it out. But when you go back to the original, like if we go back to and I know I said we would change the style of stitching of this O, right? So the O is going to be a different style, but I just also want to point out that for every shape, if you use the shape tool, you can change where they start and stop sewing. So, you can see where this one kind of jumps over to the O, and it does all the embroidery, but it finished the O there, and it jumps to the period. Well, look, if you just move the exit point up to the top, and even the entry point up to the top too, then now it jumps, starts sewing up there, and it finishes sewing. And so therefore I made a longer, jump in between them. I could do the same for the 5. I could move the exit point and the entry point for the 5 up there. And so now I'm changing the way the machine will stitch out. And therefore, when you save it to your machine format, it'll give you a longer distance and a better chance of your machine trimming, because, with the industrial machines, you can set it, the trim as a code. But the reality is on the average home machine, like a Brother or a Baby Lock or that kind of one, the machine will decide whether it'll actually trim based upon how long this distance is. And so if the distance is longer, you get a better chance of it trimming out. Yeah. And notice, by the way, when I went to doing it in all auto satin, that also kind of helps with that, because then it gets the software to kind of look at where the best place to entry and exit everything is. If not, notice that there's a button up top. We have a lot of different buttons, and there's one right here, optimize entry and exit points. So for example, if you want to select the word rounds and ask it to find the best place to start and stop every letter, that'll get it to finish the R where the O starts, and then finish the O where the U starts. So there is no jump in between them anymore. So yeah, that's my kind of 2 cents on this one, Matthew. Hopefully, let me come back on. Sorry, I have to flip over here. And anyway, Matt, yeah, the main thing would be just use a satin style of stitching with the turning stitches. I think that'll help the most. A little bit of pull compensation goes a long way, not just for this case, but almost for all text. It's never a bad idea to fatten it up a little bit. Do you know why that is? Because the tension of the thread coming through your machine and like the high speed movement of the machine, things just get a little skinnier. And that's why when you put the pull compensation on it, just kind of accounts for it. And when you're dealing with really small stuff, it can just be all that one little setting could be all the difference that they needed. So I hope that helps. And the other part about the trims and that, if that's over your head, just let it go. You don't need to know all that stuff. It's not so bad when you use the text tool, then trims can be done all at once. Because can I go back on one more time, Matt? I'll just quickly do this. So if I go back on here, what I'm saying is, if you here, let's just click on my text tool and make like some built-in text. Sorry, I zoom out, click it right there. So notice the words my text. Well, now the trim codes are set So you have a tab for your text where you can make it say whatever you want, but you have a second tab that is beside it for the text extra. And in here, you can tell it, I want to, if you wanted to trim between every letter, you can put it to always. Or you can also choose never or auto and then have it be, only around a trim, kind of thing. So auto lock and auto trim would get it the software to decide. But if you set that to always, then when you save it, the software knows that you want it to trim between each letter. And so that was one more thing, I guess, that would be helpful to kind of mention for everybody today and explain how to do. So yeah. Anyway, Matt, it's always good to get a little tip. Hopefully everybody had a good holiday season and ready for happy 2024.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
All right.
All right. Well, good luck on the support desk, Matt, and we'll look forward to talking to you again real soon.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Trevor.
You're welcome. Okay. Bye, Matt.